to go racing.
The pressure is really on now. And it's pole position.
And it's pedal to the metal. Go, go, go!
Hello everyone, welcome to this penultimate round of the PCF3 PSGL series here in Baku, Azerbaijan. A fantastic circuit, this 6.003 kilometer track with 2 DRS zones, and that makes it very, very interesting. Aside from that, the remaining calendar, as I said, this is the penultimate, which means this week, Azerbaijan, and the final race is in Brazil, which will be a very interesting race. As of late, we haven't seen too many drivers turn up for these races, but unfortunately that's sometimes the case. People have real lives, that is the thing, and therefore we have to work with that. So, speaking of drivers, let's take a look at the standings. There was not, I believe, a race in the United States, hence why there is a dead line between rounds 12 and 14. So, from the top, we have Simon Pattany up in the top position, first place, followed by Luke Smith in second. 1 second in third. Sorry, I just had to trip over my words there because I was a little bit confused as to that one, but you know, I got it right eventually. JST in fourth with 59 points. And then 5th, QVR Cookie, 6th, Moon, 7th, Leonard, 8th, Corny, John TF1 in 9th, Carter Lundy in 10th, Modesto Mena in 11th, Jake Finch in 12th, Mensalism Yon in 13th, Byrne in 14th, Damien has left by the looks, as has Modesto Mena. Daniel Rocker is a reserve driver. He is at 16th. Alex O'Grady, also a reserve driver, 17th. Sandro, 18th. Sali, 19th. Milan, 20th. And then to round off the bottom 10, Lefted, Luca, Manolin, PS4 BTW, Kurtzi, Grund, Zvetkov, Danny Shaw, Alposkaya, VRT Barricade, and Pablo Hogla. In terms of the positions at the top then, 111 points to Simon Pattany, 95 points to Luke Smith. Given that these are the last 2 races, anything can happen at this point. That could absolutely change hands. It could even change hands to 1 second, which is incredibly unlikely, but could happen. And it would be absolutely incredible if it did. So it's currently the Red Bull in the top position, with the Aston Martin following close behind, Williams, and then an AlphaTauri and a Haas. So talking about the constructors, we move on to the constructors' standings. Red Bull, with the drivers PS4 BTW and Nomsy up in the top position with 117 points. Then, by the looks of it, that is slightly the wrong way round. Aston Martin is in fact second, if that's to be read properly, with 101 points, followed by AlphaTauri with JST and Corny, and with Aston Martin is Luke and Luca, not confusing at all. And then in the Alpine, you've got Leonard and Morgan with 67 points. Mercedes, with the drivers of Carter Lundy and John TF1, 55 points. In the Williams, you've got 1 second at Sandro. They have 70 points. Bloody hell, this is confusing me. That's confusing. Let's just assume they're all in the wrong order, because I don't know what's going on there. All I see is this. Currently, we're waiting for the lobby to fill up, or at the very least get to the point where it can be used. And aside from that, we wait. So yes, unfortunately I can't look at the chat today. Let's be honest, my PC is being very, very temperamental. I am a little bit concerned it might not run. It runs the game, but it's not even running at 60 right now, and I don't know why. I think I've got the OBS GPU bug or something. Just waiting for drivers at the moment. So I am just going to stop your ears being bled by the immensely loud F1 theme, and I'll just relegate that down to a sort of halfway level. As we wait. Only 12 in the lobby right now, and it looks like we have one person readying up, which I believe is Luke Smith, also known as, I believe, Exit. Apologies for the slightly quiet zone here, but you know, I used all my talking up on that first section, and it kind of makes it difficult to carry on when we're currently waiting on the qualifying to begin. As we wait for the qualifying. So, in terms of then, let's just bump back to the driver's standings and have a look through that properly. So, Simon Perroni started off the season reasonably well. Actually, he did get some points to start with, got a couple of podiums, but then in the last sort of 5 races, so 6 races, he's done exceptionally well, getting quite a fair few first places. Simultaneously, Luke Smith, very consistent driver. The problem he has is sometimes just making a mistake. Making mistakes is not necessarily the same as inconsistent, just to be absolutely perfectly clear. So, I think that's the case, yeah. He's got a weird one. He's a very quick driver. I'll give that to him. He's an exceptionally quick driver, and he's an exceptionally talented driver. The problem is just getting rid of those errors. And to be fair, he has definitely improved over the season. And it's going to be starting in 25 seconds apparently, unless someone wants to be really annoying and cancel the ready up. 10 seconds left on the ready clock as we wait to get into the game. 3, 2, 1. Are we actually going to be moving into qualifying at the moment? Yes, we will. Here we go. Azerbaijan. Short qualifying in F3. Unfortunately, you do not go to the full-length qualifying. But even so, it's still bloody awesome. Apologise for my mild French. 30 seconds till begin then, and we are beginning. That was the time and to state this all may have had connection, but they didn't. Now we just wait for the audio. And I do apologise slightly if the audio is a little loud. We should be good, but I am just going to drop it just in case you get deafened. While we wait, I'm going to unplug my controller. Which obviously will do this. Okay. As WR Neon joins. As we await the first drivers out onto the track in Baku. It is a very interesting circuit, Baku. It is, shall we say, tight. It's definitely not an easy one to get right. And there goes our first car. As always, it's a little bit confusing. The cars go the opposite direction. So we're just going to go on board with whoever that is in the Haas. So that would be Moon off on the outlap. I am just going to remove the tyres because, to be honest, who wants to see the bloody tyres? I'll put on the best lap instead. Why is it? Is this what I hate? You say tyres, it doesn't do it. Let's just go with no detail then. So we see WR Moon on their outlap. Let's see how they can do. They're also a driver who's not entirely slow. None of these drivers are, let's be honest. They're all in Tier 3. They're all very quick. And now we shall see if Carter Lundy, who I believe is Cool Hands Carter, but I could be wrong, will he finish the race? And I think we have a Daniel Gilligan hiding in the voice channel. I think. You do. Give me 1 second because he cannot be heard. Because my mic has... Because at the end of the day, for some reason, I have started splitting my audio up and it's not putting him out through the correct output. Let's see how I can do this. You know, sudden unexpected people turning up in the voice chat. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Let's go with Orcs. Let's go with the Orcs. Sorry, I got to... Oh, God, is that going to crash everything? God almighty. Could you just quickly say something for me, Dan? Yep, you're coming out through the right one, so let's just make that's going out the right way. That is going through voice chat, which means if I just change this... We should, in theory, have a Daniel Gilligan.
We should.
We have a
Hello.
Daniel Gilligan.
Hurrah!
Hey! But yes, looks like we've got a bit of a short grid today, just to give you a bit of a heads up.
Okay.
It's been the case for the last couple of weeks, I think. But, you know, it sometimes happens. It's the end of the season for some reason. The drivers down the bottom will sometimes lose a bit of interest over time, but I'd like to think that isn't the case.
Yeah.
But we're currently...
Yeah, we've experienced a similar drop-off, especially in this game, on the other league that I commentate on the weekends.
Yes.
So it's kind of to be expected. I mean, they all sign up and say, "Oh,
That was a heavy hit by Moon into the wall at the castle chicane. How on earth did they get no damage from that? Is damage on?
have we got a stream running on Discord?"
Yeah, we got see, this is the problem. I'm gonna try, but I have no guarantees that this will work. I'll give it a go. I
can try and join the game and get into spectator.
Right. So can you see that?
Bear with me. I can, yeah.
Is it running at a reasonable frame rate? 'Cause it has just dropped my... I'm just going to let the stream catch up.
Yep, seems to be fine.
So the question is the
I am loading the game up now,
Okay,
so I could jump in if
I
you
actually
want.
lost frame rate by doing that. So as Moon goes into the pits, and we jump on board with Carter, who is also going into the pits. Thanks, Carter. And we're going to jump on board with Joshua Pina, who I've never actually seen his name on the list. There's definitely a few new names. And I think it's because of username changes, which is always confusing and interesting and definitely not annoying at all. So we've got Cool Hands Carter, which I believe is Carter Lundy. That game is immensely loud. I'm just going to cut it by half. As Leonard sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:41. What, of the race? Yes, we've already started the race with 13 minutes left. And Danny Shaw takes a 1:38.285. So that puts the two Alpines right up on the top. As we're going to stay on board with Joshua. I'm presuming Pinar. 1 second. Taking first with a 1:38.16. How's the loading going? Or is yours just completely crashed out, Daniel?
It has loaded. I just need to join someone.
Yeah, you should be able to join me. I think I've added you.
Yes. Yeah.
You should just be able to join straight on me as long as it'll put you as suspected. We have a yellow flag. Not too sure what for. Probably just a slow car. As we've got 4 times on the board currently. 1 second taking first is on provisional pole right now, followed by Danny Shaw and followed by Jay Verhaag. And I'm presuming Jay Verhaag is JST. That's an assumption, of course. May not be the case. As we are going to jump on board with Danny Shaw. Just to give a bit of variation. I've always liked Baku as a track.
I think I'll be in the game in just a moment. Am I being broadcast? Or
Yeah, your voice is being broadcast.
oh, wonderful! Hello, everybody.
You were being broadcast from as soon as I said we have a Daniel Gilligan.
Oh, excellent. Brilliant. As I was not aware. Apologies for the belated arrival. The commute in London is unfortunately slow.
I know that pain.
But I have a permanent day off on Wednesdays now, so hopefully
Awesome.
everything should be fine. So hello, everybody. It's very, very good to be back in the PSGL commentary box alongside Scruffy, of course. And yeah, let's hope that Baku delivers as it usually does. So let's just get everything up on my screen here and have a look at what's what, who's who. So currently then, I'm just going to go off of what we're seeing on the main stream, which I've got on my other monitor. So we're currently watching one of the Aston Martins heading down and out of the pit lane. Now we're on to one of the McLarens, Joshua Pina, who is, I don't know about on your screen, but on my screen, they are racing without a helmet. Just balaclavaed up. Fine. They've decided to... Well, there we are then. So F1 2021, despite all its patches, still likes to just give us the odd occasional spanner in the works, I suppose. So, round the final turn they come. Final couple of corners, in fact. And up towards the line they go, towards the DRS. They'll have that open in just a moment's time, I'm sure. And they will come on to complete their fast lap. And up towards the line they go, sticking very far over to the left-hand side here. It might be jumping into the pits. And yes,
Correct.
it is. Into the pits goes the McLaren.
Ooh.
And bit of a bunce on the pit wall entry
go for
there, but
parity.
they managed to get it in without having to. Well, I
flag.
say that they then immediately retired from the session. So
Lovely.
no qualifying time from Josh, it seems.
Currently on board with Simon Perroni, heading down into the area of just pushing towards Sector 2. Very long sectors in Baku, as a comparison.
Certainly are, yes.
Very long sectors. And it's a very fast circuit, but the problem is you've still got to be able to brake for those corners. So there's no use just slamming your downforce to the minimum, because you've still got to take some really tight corners and, of course, the Castle Chicane, which has claimed
Absolutely.
more drivers than I can count and made Charles Leclerc look like a real idiot. As his own quote
Absolutely,
says.
yes. Speaking of which, Mercedes almost looked like an idiot there
Carter.
before they dived out of the way of the Red Bull.
Yeah.
The Red Bull's back to their original paint scheme now in F1 2021
It's a
after that
shame.
brief period with a flirtation with the white Red Bull.
It's a
I know
shame.
it was quite nice to look at, to be honest.
I'd
but,
love Red Bull to bring that in next season in the actual racing, because of the fact that obviously they're not using Honda anymore. They are using Honda, but they're just naming it something different, so they don't have to go through a whole new engine setup through the FIA.
Absolutely, yes.
But it would be an interesting one for them to change their livery to give credit to Honda and have that there for the next season. So they basically
certainly
show
would
off
be
to Honda
interesting,
constantly.
yeah.
And I love the white livery. It's really nice.
It certainly was.
been
Yeah,
stuck
down
with it.
towards the line then, off they go,
Hey!
and it's a new fastest lap from Simon Perrigny. 1:38.0 as they head then through the first corner rather gingerly, just making sure their car gets round, not necessarily trying to bomb it all the way around there. And that's a good effort from them. Very good indeed. They had a purple first sector, I recall seeing, but as far as the rest of the lap was concerned, it looked quick, of course, but how it would stack up versus everybody else, I was unsure right up until the end there. So, good effort from them. Now, in terms of who we're looking at, who are we looking at next?
We're currently on board with Luke Smith, Vexit, I believe. Currently got quite a lot of clean air ahead of him, which is always going to be helpful. He has just got a purple second sector, so now let's hope he doesn't make any mistakes coming down towards these final sweeping left and right hander onto the main straight. I think this could be a fastest lap. Of course, I didn't see his first sector, but knowing Vexit, they are quick, especially in qualifying. And we shall see as they can blast down ahead nearly 200. They're probably going to pass 200 mile an hour at the line.
There it is, 201, 202. Across the line they go. It's a 1:38.4.
Oh, blimey, that's
4/10 shy.
But the fact is they did get that purple second sector, which will play into their hand, because if they can get round fast, they are showing a little bit of a fuel warning light, but I don't think it's too important for this front. You're going to just...
No, you'd certainly hope not, at least. It should be a...
That's Boone!
should be...
So it's the fastest lap.
Spoon, Moon, rather, yes.
Spoon,
Why did I say spoon? I just,
Simon Perroni with
Yeah,
Moon above them.
well, yes, that could potentially be the reason. Maybe I'm just very, very conscious that I'm very hungry. I don't know.
Yeah.
But as we watch, then the Alfa Romeo set to 1:38.0. So now just 0.07 of a second separating the top two. Whereas before, of course, it was even smaller gap, only about 300ths of a second rather, less than. So things very tight at the top here. Though, of course, those guys a bit further down the order, about half a second off.
We just
the
had a
slowest
collision.
driver.
On the back
Collision
straight.
in qualifying.
We had a back... Yeah, someone didn't get out of the way quick enough for Danny Shaw, and he just went straight into their rear right. I don't know who that was, but I have a feeling that that was Simon.
Yeah,
They're
Simon,
both
the only
diving
other
into the
driver
pits.
in the pits right now. Yeah, exactly.
I think
So
those two might have had a bit of a spat down the back straight. Don't know what happened there. I caught it at the last second.
yes,
But-
quite possibly. Well, I mean, we can certainly try and keep an eye on them as best we can. We've got a yellow at the end of Sector 2. That for one of the Aston Martins. That was for...
Probably cars are
not-
slowing down.
That was for Luke Smith, actually.
Really? He's on the back
Luke
straight right
Smith's
now.
slowing up on the back, on the sort of the exit of the second sector, onto the third. So maybe just trying to build up a bit of a gap just in case there
Smith
were
into
any
the
cars ahead of
pits.
them. And nope, straight into the pits they go. Never mind then. So if the drivers would like to actually set a lap whilst we're looking at them, that'd be absolutely wonderful. Absolutely marvellous.
Happens quite a significant amount, more than you'd think, to be honest. I think that yellow flag was
yeah.
caused by Harlem Marquis down in the second sector, moving towards the third. It was just a little bit slow, because I spotted a Mercedes blue dot going slowly there, exactly where that was. I think Corny's...
Harlem just hitting the wall on the exit of turn number 2 there. They then use the Red Bull as much as they can to slipstream all the way down that second DRS straight into the last part of the first sector they go then. I don't know if they're on a time lap. I didn't see any DRS opening on their car as they headed down that DRS straight. They're certainly not on an out lap, so this one could be a time lap. It's a purple first sector as well, so the Mercedes is certainly going for it.
Right at the wall.
We'll have to wait and see how this one turns out here. So down towards second sector and the car section they go, and there we go, an invalidated lap there.
Yeah, that was purely because they just... Oh
dear, and then hitting the wall just to add insult to injury there.
Stay there.
Or injury to insult, I suppose.
That was a reset
quick
to
reset to track. And away they go once more. They sit right on the apex as another car comes through, blocking the Red Bull there. And that's not what we want to see. Jay will not have appreciated that all too much. And there you can see them just wiggling about, wiggling the steering there, just demonstrating how upsetting that may well have been to them. So they'll slow themselves up now.
Yeah,
get ready to go again.
It's good to see sorry's actually being thrown in there, to be honest, because I'm pretty sure that's a signal for sorry. I'd assume it is, because
well, it was the Red Bull doing the weaving, so I'd be surprised if the Red Bull was apologising.
No, the one ahead of him was also.
Oh, really?
He actually started by wiggling in the front, and then the Red Bull followed suit. So I think what that might have been is just going, sorry, yep, my bad. Which it was. It was 100% the... I can't remember who the guy was ahead.
I believe it was Harlem Marquis.
Yeah, Harlem Marquis. Yeah. It's a fantastic name, I will say.
Well, it certainly is.
As we're going to just jump on board with 1 second.
Makes me think of basketballing tents.
Yes, definitely. Harlem Marquis. Harlem Marquis, if you want to do it even better. Multiple basketballing tents. As 1 second comes flying down into this famous part of the chicane. I've never liked that chicane. It's just so off-putting.
Yeah, that chicane can definitely pose a challenge or two, especially when you're being chased by an Alfa Romeo, as 1 second currently is. The current pole sitter, in fact, on their outlap, chasing after them. So you'd hope that they don't try and make anything happen here per se, but certainly Moon wants to be nice and close here towards the end of the lap, because it means they'll get that use of the slipstream, which of course very powerful here at Baku. If you can get that toe, then it will give you massive dividends in the first sector, and of course contributing to your overall lap time. So slowing up then 1 second, as 1 second is also on an outlap, I've only just noticed. So they then round the final turn, final proper turn I should say, and now on they go. So putting the hammer down, and they potentially may end up giving Moon a little bit of a tow here, a distant tow, albeit. But no, it looks like the Alfa Romeo is going very slowly indeed, so maybe taking that extra lap just to get the tyres warmed up. So attention back to 1 second. They open the DRS down this start-finish straight and head on towards a lap of Baku. Let's ride on board with them as we go through this lap. So moving right over to the right-hand side, using as much of the off-track as they can to open up that corner. They scythe it through that first turn and then down towards turn number 2. A short run between turns 1 and 2, and then out that corner they go, opening up the DRS once again, and then down towards turn number 3. Of course, a lot of cars currently bunched up in that turn 3, 4, and towards 5 complex at the moment, so you'd hope that they are keeping an eye on their mini-map and ready to jump out of the way in case the Williams sets upon them. Bouncing over the curb there on the apex, that's going to upset the car ever so slightly and maybe made them go wide on exit. They brake then and just have a brilliant little move there through that first part of the chicane. It's a purple first sector for them. So now as they head down there, Danny gets out of the way, Danny Shaw that is, in the Alpine. So they dive out of the way of the Williams. The Williams now going up towards the castle section, and there's a number of cars ahead of them here. They've been able to navigate that nicely, and through they go then, maybe a little bit wider than they would have liked on the exit, but the cars ahead of them crucially getting out of the way. The Williams now powering down this long left section. As they head down towards, Simon gets out of the way as well, providing them a nice clear exit there and bouncing over the apex curb there and down towards now just between the 50 and 100 meter braking boards. They brake, through that final proper corner on the circuit, and now it's right, left, and right again as we head up now towards that start-finish straight once more. They may get a distant tow from the car ahead of them, but certainly no dirty air will be in effect here. Now up towards the DRS line, here it comes, 50 metres, and open. Open it is, and now a straight line all the way towards the start-finish line. Where's this going to put 1 second? Cross the line they come, and it's provisional pole.
Oh, devilishly good on that one. 137.666. That was
That's
quick.
very quick. That's very quick of you there. Devilishly good 666. Very good. I'd say that deserves a slow clap, I think.
That was a terrible
I don't know
pun,
if my
but yeah.
I don't know if my
That's
microphone will be
just
picking this
about.
up on account of Discord's auto noise cancelling, but there we are. The slow clap was given. So there we are then. Fantastic effort from 1 second there. Moon, of course, we expected them to go onto a proper timed lap there, but they were very slow out of the final few corners
3
and
minutes
decided to head
left.
into the pits. And now the session is over, it says on my screen. So we've got Moon in the pits, Jay in the pits, and Cool Hands Carter gambling on the medium tyres here, or at least it says they're on mediums on my screen. Yes, their best time, or no time in fact, set on the mediums. So from 9th down, we've got no time set, including for Luca, who has not set a time. And has also finished the session. Harlem Marquis coming around the last few corners now. They also will not set a time. They've invalidated the lap that they are currently on. So that is another driver who will not benefit from.
We may see something from
time to get
Leonard
them
here.
up
He just got a
into the
purple
top eight.
second.
Ooh, well, we'll keep an eye on them then. So in the Alpine then, they come up towards the line. And DRS gets open then. And down towards the finish line they go. Dragging the car all the way along, 202 miles an hour. Where did they go? Second place. Very, very close. And crucially, they dislodge Luke Smith by 1,000th of a second.
Oh, always
That,
satisfying.
one of the longest street circuits on the calendar. That's an is going to be a
astronomically small
tough
amount.
pill for Luke Smith to swallow there.
That's an astronomically small amount. That is just such
Astronomically small.
Yep.
Surely you want that to be a microscopically small.
Gotta love
Astronomically
the-
small.
gotta
be
love the juxtaposition.
Many thousands of miles.
Gotta love the juxtaposition. As
Absolutely.
by the looks, that should be everyone apart from Luke Smith, who is still running a lap. And
They
he's
certainly are.
actually
They're
on
going to
the
have a bit of a
back
tow
straight.
here
Whoa.
from 1 second. No, they dove into the pit. So that's the end of things, end of proceedings for them.
And everyone
So
else.
then, your provisional qualifying order, or final qualifying order, I suppose, given that no one else is currently finishing a lap. Nope, no one is. So 1 second takes pole position by not quite 1 second, but 1/10 of a second from Leonard in second place behind them. On third is Luke Smith, as we mentioned there, in the Aston Martin. And alongside them will be Danny Shaw. Then from 5th down, we have Moon, Simon Perigny, Jay Verhage, Corny, Cool Hands Carter, Luca, Neon, Joshua Pina, Harlem Marquis, and Marcus Hall, or Thal. Some of these drivers need to send me ways to pronounce their names.
And then
I'm
all of the
completely
drivers
lost
from
sometimes.
F1 just appeared at the bottom of the list for some reason.
I know, that's remarkable, isn't it? They're very quick.
Mazepin
They
appears
arrived and
not
got
on
the
the
car
bottom.
set up just so quickly.
Mazepin just
so
appeared on
then-
the bottom of the grid, but he wasn't last, and that is rare.
I was about to say Mazepin appearing at the bottom of the grid. That's not a
Never.
surprise. But there we are then. So that is your qualifying. Then we will wait for everybody to get themselves into the race lobby. In the meantime, I'm going to do a bit of catch up here and ask Scruffy, how are you?
I am good. Moved house, so that's why nothing will sound different. Still got the same stuff. It's just a bit more like echoey because I don't have any soundproofing. So just gotta wait for that. Really, how was yourself?
Not too bad at all. I similarly have moved house since I was last commentating for PSGL. Not quite as recently as yourself, but an unfortunate side effect of moving house for me is that despite the fact that there are fibre optic cables in the street, and that the next street over, everybody's on a fibre optic connection,
I know that's
no ISPs are offering that for me and my mates. So we are currently relying on a 5G hub. So hopefully no COVID deniers come and burn it down. But
is true, yeah.
It's well, yes, exactly. So we are, So we're moved over, and I can no longer stream, but I can maybe upload stuff to YouTube during the evening, shall we say?
Yeah.
So that's an easy way of dealing with things, I suppose. But yeah, it's just trying to fill time at the moment after what was an exciting qualifying session for me to fumble my way into after all the connection problems at the start for me there. But yes, it's looking like an exciting one. Baku, of course, always a very exciting race to watch, whether that be a virtual or real race, except, of course, the 2016 F1 Grand Prix. That was positively boring. But since then, it's been an exciting event ever since. So I'm looking forward very much to seeing how this goes here. Have we got any sort of hot tips or anything like that as far as who's going to do well in this one?
If I'm honest, it's sticking somewhere in the region of what it was before. You've got Vexit, you've got 1 second driver at the top, Simon Perroni, I believe. At the end of the day, it's a very close race between that lot, but then below that, it's quite difficult for anyone really to come on to the top 3, which is unfortunate. And I think we may have a frozen lobby.
Oh dear. Well, I was about to say whatever the top 3 do in their own time is their business. But, okay, so we may well have to restart the lobby then, which means a little bit more fill time for us. It's a bit like the unenviable job of commentating on a red flag situation for hours on end. Of course, not something I've ever had to really deal with as such, but it's something that we can give a go here, I suppose. Did you know, for instance, that otters have favourite pebbles? This is me trying to fill time, by the way. This is just me now starting to. It's going to become Dan's random fact show until the race starts, I'm afraid. Although, that being said, we can always discuss what, of course, has led to PSGL and all the rest of it, and that being F1 itself. So it's been a couple of weeks now since the race in Qatar, and what a brilliant result that was for that driver. We all know who I'm talking about here, without spoiling it.
Max Verstappen.
Those who know know. To be fair, Max had a good recovery.
No,
he had a good recovery drive after his
If
good
you
penalty,
haven't seen Qatar by now, I'd be surprised.
Yes.
It was a very good race, and a lot of people don't tend to wait that long to see Qatar or any of the races. To be fair, it's not a bad track. Losail is not a bad track. As much as it's a MotoGP track, it's just the only downside is it's very boring.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. I felt that as though, whilst it was a good race to watch, not a bad race. I wouldn't say it was a great race by any stretch of the imagination, but it was good in the sense that it was exciting. We had different strategies going on, and tires started to fail and things like that. But yeah, things were interesting to keep up with, and I think that the only complaint I really had about the circuit was the fact that all the overtakes happened in the DRS zone and nowhere else. And another complaint I would have is that, of course, F1 is pushing to go back to Qatar, which in and of itself I'm not complaining about. But what I am complaining about is they want to make another street circuit.
Well, they got a 10-year
just
contract.
Go back to that circuit. Yeah.
Well, they got a 10-year contract. To be fair, not a bad choice. I think what's happened is I have desynced, and I think you have too.
I've just seen a message come up saying that you have left the session.
Yeah,
so,
I have. Because
I'm still on a black screen of death. So
I think other people aren't. Let me just confirm. So everyone is, of course, going to hear Crofty yelling his head off in the background while my game loads. That's the reason we're on the intermission, because there's no point in showing you.
Who doesn't love a bit of shouty Crofty?
Yeah. To be fair.
Right. So I'm going to force close F1 2021 because it's not doing anything else.
This session no longer exists.
Ah, good. Well done, Baku.
Thanks, Baku.
Oh
God, what's going to happen here then? I'll just check.
Well, I mean, hopefully somebody will have screenshot the results, and then they'll be able to pop everybody into the slots that they should be, and then we'll be able to get going again. That being said, it's that's just the way it goes sometimes, isn't it? Especially in this particular game. Good to see that despite all the patching and so on, we've still gotten the online stability of a war veteran without his crutch.
Yeah,
that's the simile I'm going with, or the metaphor, whichever one.
Failed to join the session this time.
Failed to join. Oh dear.
Let's try again.
You are my gateway into getting into the session because I don't have anybody in the session on my friends list.
I always love looking at the comments in the F3 general chat.
Oh dear, what are
'Cause
they saying?
I know why he's asking that question.
I'm gonna have to find this now. There's so many channels in
Failed to join
PSGL.
session. Yeah, I think what's happening is we've just got a bit of a problem here. I'm going to check if they are actually, in fact, in the race. Because they may be, and if they are, then I know it's just me, which would not be very good, might I add. Because then we have a problem.
Houston, we may have a problem.
Well, we definitely have one currently. It's just... Oh, come on, Twitch. I'm going to try again. Just to be sure. Come on, let me in. Yeah, they are driving.
Are they driving?
Yeah, the
What do you
race is
say?
underway and I can't get in and neither can you.
Ah, bugger.
So I think
Well-
what's happened is the game has decided to go, well, screw you. You're not allowed to commentate on this one.
That is a real shame.
It's frustrating because it's like, hi, yes, I'd like to play F1. No. The game just going, no, you're not. I mean,
Yeah, I mean it's something I've mentioned in another series that I commentate on, but I mean I can play games for hours and hours on end with no connection issues whatsoever, even on my rubbish new connection.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, F1 doesn't work for more than, I don't know,
Well, half an hour,
15,
that's just proven.
15 minutes, 20 minutes,
Yeah,
something
a qualifying
like that.
session.
I mean, a qualifying session, and then it couldn't load into the race. So, well, I mean, that's the
trying
way the
once
cookie
more.
crumbles sometimes, folks.
One more try.
We will see.
Come on.
See if we can get in.
Come on.
Will it on? I'm
No.
giving you all the positive vibes. No, the positive vibes did not work.
It's just, the problem is it says he's... Let's see if I can find anyone else who's also in there. Okay, let's try joining on Neon. I will try my very best to get into this session. I just don't know why it's being so... Come on.
See, Martin Brundle never has to deal with this.
No, failed to join the session. Why? Like, why? Yeah, why
Because
is it
no
not
commentary
doing it?
for you, that's why.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I can tell that they are definitely 100% racing because I can see Danny Shaw's viewpoint and tell you that he's in 9th, Harlem's in 10th, Carter's in 8th, and Luca's in 7th. Like,
Well.
they are definitely racing, which means it's not... That really frustrates me. Really frustrates me.
Well, have we got anybody whose stream we could watch, maybe?
We
If
do,
you-
well,
if
apart
you-
from... I mean, we have... Oh, gosh, who do we have?
That being said, I'd then be watching a stream that's got a 30-second delay
but I'd
or
also be
so
watching a
on
stream
another
with-
stream that's then on a 30-second delay. So
We
it'd
have
be
Danny Shaw's stream.
delayception.
But then we can't view anyone. It's just on board, so it's not very interesting.
Hmm.
I have... There's nothing we can do.
Well,
There's nothing we can do. Literally, apart from the fact about us, there's nothing we can do. Which means, frustratingly, I am going to have to switch the stream most likely to this screen, which says ending. So,
oh dear.
yeah, there's nothing we can do. When the game doesn't want to let us in, I'm sure none of you really want to sit here and just watch us vamp for the next hour, because that would be just silly.
Well, I mean, you never know. I could always read out the football scores or something like that, if anybody be interested.
But it's just so frustrating. I mean, interesting fact, and I will mention this now just while it's ending. I did notice one very interesting thing with the F1 esports,
Yes.
and that is that they have certain overlays on the broadcast in-game.
Yes,
I
they do.
think they've snuck the esports build through.
Ah, no, you see, what has happened there is that is SimHub. We used to have that on the
Yeah.
on the FRS, and then the guy who was running our broadcast and doing all the homework
Yeah.
to make that work has stepped down from those duties. So that is third party software. That's not not
Yeah.
a special
I'd like to think
esports
it is
build
anyway.
feature. Yeah, no, it's all to do with the I forget the acronym for it, but it's the telemetry that gets broadcast by the game, basically. So that there are apps out there that can then pick that up, and then you make an overlay. You just use it in OBS as you would anything else.
Yeah.
And that's the way that works. So, but one thing that is worth mentioning about F1 esports is, of course, they pre-record it. So it's not live. It's broadcast to simulate being live, but it's not live.
Except in the finals.
Well,
It is. I know for a fact it is.
It is? Okay. Well,
I know for a
I'm
fact it
surprised
is
they've never
because I
had
would
an
have.
issue.
I know the fact for it is because if the trains weren't so expensive, I would have been going.
Ah.
Because the fact is, I work for the company who has part of the company running it.
Oh.
So basically, they yeah. Basically, that's one positive, but it's as far as I know, the shows are filmed live and streamed, but then the evening show I think is going on Sky Sports, as it generally does.
Well, isn't that nice?
So I think they are still filmed live, but it's the same thing. To be honest, it's very much the same thing. But yes, I think we should. Yeah, I'm just gonna let's just pause here for a second while I just go. Yeah, about 5 times, sadly. It's so frustrating.
Oh, well, F1 2021 giveth and F1 2021 taketh away.
It absolutely does.
Mostly the latter, rather than the former. But, it is what it is. If anybody's interested in terms of any football matches that are on at the moment, there's Southampton, Leicester, Watford, Chelsea, West Ham, Brighton, and Wolves, Burnley. They're all going on at the moment. And then Aston Villa, Man City later on, and Everton, Liverpool. There you go. I'm sure that that everybody who watches those will be perfectly civil with one another and will not descend into some sort of fandom and such. I don't know. I'm waffling at this point because, frankly, there's only so much filling you can do.
I think we
when
just need
you
to call
know
that
it's
because
broken.
there's
You
just
can't-
no way we can do this. I think we just have to call it, unfortunately and sadly, because as much as it would have been nice to commentate on Baku, at least we got the next week's race, which hopefully the game doesn't break its backside constantly again. Because
don't jinx it.
well, I'm kind of expecting it will, to be honest. So, anyway, thank you very much for anyone who did turn up and have a listen. As much as you only really got to see qualifying, which is a shame. I will still apologise regardless, even though it's 100% the game's fault. Because at the end of the day, that's just sad. But yes, yeah, that's all I can say really. Unless there's anything else you want to say.
No, well, I mean, other than just my usual thank you very much, everybody, for watching, for the bit that we were able to bring you, and thanks very much to Scruffy, of course, running the technical side of things. I've been Daniel Gilligan, and thanks for watching.
Thank you very much.